is the wipeout effect. It's the wipeout effect. There's always this overhaul that does take place where, you know, different things change, different people get in and out of position. And sometimes it's a shock to the system and it's a shock to the routine that you're used to, because you're probably used to seeing this person all the time. You're used to seeing them presented before the world all the time in a certain way, in a certain light. And now all of a sudden, you can't even find them. All of a sudden, they just dropped off the face of the earth. You know, different real things happen with people. This is true. But these things also happen in waves too, though. It'll be in a wave. It'll be, in different pockets. You know, collections of people will pass away, just like collections of people will be born. Collections of people will get locked up. A lot of things, but all these events seem to happen almost like people are being bundled up together that share similar outcomes. So like everybody with the same outcome, you know, for the most part, they find themselves in a position where birds of a feather flock together. And they may not even be doing everything that everyone in the flock is necessarily doing. So you can be, let's say you're a bird in a flock that likes to rob banks. Well, you might be not a person who's robbed the bank, but you may have robbed maybe a single individual. So the whole band of birds, that whole flock is of robbers. But then you might have one that's not a robber at all. They're just a thief. They're not going to do any physical harm to anybody. But if you leave anything out, that's it. Everything is going to grow 5 fingers. It's going to grow arms, legs, wheels, wings. It's going to grow all of that on you. A separate Wi-Fi signal. But if stealing, you may find yourself being rounded up cosmically, rounded up karmically with a band of robbers who strong arm it, who might rob you at knuckle point, knife point, gun point, on point or off point. And that's the point. You will call them, according to Ezekiel's vision, this is like another mystery behind the whirling wheels that are called, what is it, the Othnim? The Othnim? Wheels with eyes. So people are being carted off like wheels. Because just like wheels, you ride something, you drive something that takes wheels for the most part, especially if it's on land. And the wheels are called the whirling wheels. So people are being driven towards something. And depending on what you're driven by and driven toward, you'll be linked up, across paths with people who are driven in the same direction, which is the same subject matter, the same tone, the same mood, using the same verbiage, maybe following the same leaders, listening to the same people, listening to the same music, watching some of the same movies, probably has similar grades, probably went to similar schools, probably from the similar hood, same block, and being wheeled off, while another person who lives right next door to all of the riffraff is experiencing none of the riffraff. That person goes on to university, that person gets some kind of degree somewhere, they come back and they live 5 minutes around the corner, but in a real nice area where they always wanted to be at, but it's only like 10 minutes down the street. But it took them all their lives to get 10 minutes down the street, a whole lifetime of being careful, a whole lifetime of making sure they don't get caught up with the wrong crowd, a whole lifetime of making sure that they don't get attached to certain vices, a whole lifetime of making sure that they stay exemplary, a whole lifetime of making sure they remain an individual. So they see the wheels all around them changing out. Oh man, this was Goodyear last time. What is this now? These was 18 inches. These are Pirellis. Oh man, these are only 10s though, but somebody's keeping them clean though. What happened to the wheels from, right, that part? Another, I guess, a manifestation of this, an example of this is, yo, I don't see nobody no more. You go on to succeed, go on and be successful and come back to your hood. If your hood is particularly what it is, in most cases, you might not see the same people. You'll probably see some of the same people. Sometimes you might even see a lot of the same people. But don't be surprised if you don't see none of the same people. If your whole block gets switched out and you just don't know nobody over there no more, you got to reintroduce yourself, and you the one that's been living there the longest. But everybody new is like, who are you? Because you're brand new, because so many of y'all that were there are gone. Switch outs, wheels, people on wheels in different directions, grinded up on wheels. You might get locked up and find out where everybody at. Like, oh, this where y'all was at? Wheels. And so in these wheels, folks are being bundled up so that there's always this sense of community, because we're in the divine feminine. So there's always going to be opportunities for connectivity. It's quite unlike the last 26,000 years, where the more solo your journey got, the more progressive it was. Oh, now I'm the last one left. There's nobody now. I'm the one. I'm the guy. Last man standing, king of the hill, king of the mountain, right? Well, now it's about changing a world. This is what's indicative on your winning. How many people are starting to become like you? How what? Influential are you? Because we're living in the time of the what? Influencers. So now it becomes a matter of influence. How many people do you affect? So it's not about how solo you are now. It's just the opposite now. Is how much can you connect? How relatable are you? How palatable are you? How approachable are you? How personable are you? How kind are you? How temperate are you? How approachable are you? How easygoing are you? How gregarious are you? Do you have the right amount of boisterous, right amount of cheer, right amount of bubbliness? Do you have the right amount of countenance? Do you have the right things on your mind where if somebody catches you and you don't see them, but they see that you are probably having a decent day? Even though you didn't see them see you, you didn't have time to put on a mask, but they just happen to catch you staring off into space, and you're reminiscing on a very, very recent, excellent moment. And maybe this is how you are every other day. You're gonna be carted off and wheeled with like-minded individuals. It might be the person that you was crossing paths with for 3 years straight in the supermarket. All of a sudden, that be the day where y'all have the conversation. And you come to find out that this person is connected to a team, and he's got some gentlemen with him that can really open some doors for you. And this is the price you paid for not selling your soul. You got a chance to get it organically. You got a chance to feel like a multi-billionaire with $30,000 in your bank account, 40, 50, 60, $70,000 in your bank account, feeling like a billionaire, because not only are you have all of your wants, needs met, all of that, but you also are not necessarily famous, so you're not dealing with paparazzi. It's not like everybody has to know you in order for you to be well off financially. It doesn't require popularity. And I'm saying that even in the sphere of being influential. You don't have to be the one that's gonna do something for 1 million views. We all know what to do for 1 million views, but we're not willing to be known as that kind of person for 1 million views. It ain't enough views in the world that's worth being known for something stupid. I don't want all 9 billion people to view me doing something dumb in order to get my hits and to get my change. Yeah, the money good, but I ain't gonna have enough money to make people not know me for what I did to get the not, you know what I mean? You hear what I'm saying? So this thing is relational, dealing with the demiurge. And I had to do this video in parts because it's been kind of husky. I ain't really been before y'all like that too much. I just been rhyming, because that's a whole nother ministry that got to take place, because now we have to undo all of the triggers that the quote unquote dark brotherhoods have firmly cemented in place. So in the midst of deprogramming, we got to take elementary things like numbers, letters, shapes, and all of that stuff, and we just got to redefine it for you guys and package it to you in a way that is completely irresistible, talent-wise, strength-wise, content-wise, direction-wise, and we just want to be head and shoulders unique, and not unique enough just to be novelty, but for a person to really look at this and say, wow, that person is really, really, really exemplifying a gift. Because if anything, man, the first people that's going to clap is going to be your mama and them. The ones that's going to be cheering for you when nobody else is cheering for you. So in this time of Tiamat, go ahead and be artistic. That time of the starving artist is going to be over. The woman don't play that. The woman ain't down for that starving artist stuff. She'll set up a doggone vendor table so doggone fast, and next thing you know, you a thousandaire off of those little scarves you've been crocheting in the back room. No, she is ultimately resourceful. Please keep mind of the virtuous woman described in Proverbs when we start thinking about a woman's worth. I'm talking about her lamp burning late into the night. And you want to look down, you can't look down on people that's doing third shift. Because the virtuous woman, her lamp burns late into the night. She puts in that extra time. And it also says her arms are strong, her hands are strong. So she's industrial, she's resilient, she builds. The sign of a creator, having strong hands, the sign of somebody who does it themselves. You can see it in their hands, depending on what they have to do themselves. It might not be so much now, because if you know where to click, you can get all of that done now. So that's it in a nutshell. Just touching on some things just to give you the little temperature check on what this age is looking like and what reality now is. Something that, unless you were 26,000 years old or better, you were not around for. Super T Sigma, Sigma Programming. Stay illuminated. Much love.